Welcome to Hotspot with me, John Pennington, in the UK, and I'm joined again by Chetan Narula in Delhi. Hello, Chetan.
Hello again, John, and welcome to our viewers for the second hotspot in this IPL.
Absolutely, we're into the action now. We've seen all 8 teams in action once, and we're just going to go through the 4 games we've seen and have a little bit of an overview as well. Chetan, 3 days of competition so far, 4 games. Any major sort of surprises for you just yet?
Uh, I think the CSK Kings XI game was a little bit of surprise because fresh from the auctions, the first game CSK come onto the ground and they smack 200 runs on the board, and you wonder, has anything changed at all for them because there's been such a big player auction. Um, and then you realize, no, this has been the crux of the team for quite some time. They've had some new couple of players coming in, quite a bit of a boost in their opening partnership. And then, just as you're wondering that, Glenn Maxwell comes along and smacks that brilliant innings, and Kings XI win in a canter. So uh, I think that match has probably livened up the IPL. Not really I mean, it was a surprising game. Teams don't really score 200 and then go on to lose, especially in a T20 game. It happens occasionally, but it's happened so quickly, and to a team like Chennai Super Kings, which seldom loses after getting 180, 190 on the board. They do lose that. There have been a few instances. I mean, I remember they lost that final against Kolkata Knight Riders after scoring 190 odd, if I'm correct. So it does happen, but so early in the tournament, and like I said, nothing had changed for them literally, and then suddenly everything's gone. Those 2 points are gone. So that game has probably set up this tournament quite early and quite very well.
We'll come on to that game maybe in a little bit more detail in a bit, Chad. Let's just go right back to day one. We had Kolkata Knight Riders taking on the Mumbai Indians. Kolkata winning that one game actually very comfortably. 41 runs in a 2020 game is a bit of a thrashing, and they certainly looked up for that. Jacques Kallis in good form, Manish Pandey playing well. And then the bowlers coming to the party as well. Sunil Narine as well. That was a huge boost for them, beating the reigning champions in that fashion. Just give us your take on that game.
Well, I think from that first game itself, we found out that the pitches are going to be on the slower side, especially with Kolkata's army of spinners. I mean, they have Sunil Narine, Shakibul Hasan, Piyush Chawla, and then Yusuf Pathan. Three spinners into the mix, and they can all bowl turn their arms over. So four spinners in all for them. Yusuf Pathan obviously not available for the second game later today, but. But the fact of the matter is, their strategy is quite clear from the very beginning for Kolkata Knight Riders. Strangle the opposition with using spin. And I think for them, Morne Morkel has been, like we discussed in the previews, Morne Morkel has been a brilliant addition. He's using his pace and bounce very well. He was an absolutely great rhythm in that first game, and we could see how he could trouble the Indian, especially the Indian origin batsmen and the Indian cricketers in the Mumbai Indians mix. And I think that's something that could be repeated as Kolkata Knight Riders play all the teams. So I think they have got a good bowling mix. What they need are runs on the board, and yes, there were a couple of failures for them. Robin Uthappa, Gautam Gambhir not getting those runs, but Manish Pandey, I don't know what's with that kid and playing IPL overseas. The last time they played IPL overseas, he's got 100, and now in his first innings he's got a 50. So he's got the talent. Probably lost his way a bit in the middle, but he needs to catch the eye once again. Catch the eye and probably come back in the reckoning for the India A sides. And then if it holds on, good for him. Perhaps perform in the domestic structure and go out for the national side. Who knows? But the fact of the matter is he needs to come back into the limelight, and this could be a platform for him. But the fact of the matter is KKR looking good, getting runs on the board, and then strangle the opposition with spin. As far as surprises go, we discussed how Royal Challengers Bangalore do not have a good mix in terms of their good balance, in fact, from terms of their batting and bowling. I think Mumbai Indians don't have a balance in terms of their batting and bowling again, but this time their batting is looking very, very weak. Uh, I mean, it could come back and bite me because Mumbai Indians are batting right now. But the fact of the matter is, you look past Rohit Sharma, you look past Mike Hussey, and their middle order is a bit lightweight, considering that Kieron Pollard comes in at number 5, Corey Anderson at number 6, Ambati Raidu at number 3, Rohit Sharma at number 4. Why isn't Rohit Sharma opening? Why is he batting at number 4 below Ambati Raidu? Why is Kieron Pollard after 7 seasons of IPL, Mumbai Indians, not 7 seasons, let's say 6 seasons or 5 seasons. Uh, Kieran Pollard was not there for the first season. I'm not sure about the second season, but he was not there for the first season. Maybe the first couple of seasons because the champion he was recognized in the Champions League T20. I think that was 2009. The fact of the matter is that after 5 seasons of IPL, or 4 seasons and into the fifth season of IPL, Kieran Pollard with the Mumbai Indians, they still haven't figured out where Pollard should bat, and this is this is just really astounding because that's the reason they could not win the IPL in 2010 because they made Kieran Pollard bat so lower down the order and they could not chase Chennai's score if memory serves me right. And same mistakes over and over again. I think time which constitutes of John Wright, Anil Kumble, Sachin Tendulkar, they cannot get this simple thing right. It just absolutely astounds me.
Yeah, I was actually going to ask you about that, Chet, and you've answered the question. I think, you've got to give players like Pollard and Anderson time. Corey Anderson came in, I think he needed sort of 50 and 23 balls. To ask a player on his IPL debut to come out hitting from ball one against spinners of the ilk of Narayan and Chowla, it's just not going to happen. And yeah, I think you're spot on. They've got to look at their batting order, and we'll see if indeed they do. Because another thing you mentioned there about Morne Morkel troubling the Indian batsman, he made Michael Hussey look pretty ordinary as well.
Absolutely, that was he was in the middle of a mighty spell. Hussey has been off cricket for a while now, and he's just coming back and just asked to open the innings and against a fiery bowler who's getting so much bounce from a very very fresh pitch. It was a very nice contest to see. I'm sure Michael Hussey will bounce back as the tournament continues. But Morne Morkel bowled an astounding spell, and I think he's going to be key for Kolkata Knight Riders as the tournament progresses. Spearheading just ahead of their spin attack. 4 overs from him, and the 4 spinners taking care of the 16 overs. So, but again, Mumbai Indians really they need to sort out their batting because at the moment they're looking very very lightweight on batting in terms of their middle order, especially with Rohit Sharma not finding his bearings at number 3 or 4. He doesn't know where to bat yet, and they really need to sort that batting order out because it will otherwise the season could get over very very quickly for them if this it's slight adjustment. What they need is just probably get Rohit Sharma up at 3 or maybe open the innings, and then Kieran Pollard should be ready to bat at 4 or 5 depending on the situation. Yes, he's batting at 5 now, but when you're chasing and when it's just 10 runs and over, he cannot come to the crease after 15 overs have been bowled, and then they cannot expect him to just that's what they've been expecting him to do for the last 5 seasons, and it's like I said, astounding.
Okay, so on to the second game, which saw Royal Challengers Bangalore beat the Delhi Daredevils. A terrible start to this game for Delhi. They were 34 for 3, I think, if not worse than JP Duminy and Ross Taylor had to come in and actually put on 100 together and just about kept them in the game before Virat Kohli, who Delhi dropped twice, and that's got to be a concerning aspect for them. They're fielding in that game. And then Yuvraj Singh, some runs for him, even if he didn't really look at his fluent best. So everything going right for Bangalore in that game and not much going right for Delhi would be my sort of one-line take on that game, Chetan. What about you?
Well, I'm not sure, John. I think Delhi did well enough, especially considering the fact that they recovered from 30 odd for 4 to score 140. And if you consider a better batting lineup, which does not have its top order failing, it's considered a team which is not 30 for 4, but instead 50 for 4, 50 for no loss in 7 overs. They will end up scoring 180 against Royal Challengers Bangalore, which is what we discussed in our preview. So I think Delhi did very very well to recover from 30 for 4 to reach 140. In the last 13 overs they took 110 runs. So not bad from Delhi. However, I think what was missing from Delhi was Kevin Peterson's leadership, but also apart from the fact that they're a new team, they're a new unit, everything's changed for them. So what they're probably just a little bit jarring at the moment, a little bit rusty at the moment. They'll take a couple of matches with Peterson coming back probably in the second week of the tournament, and I think a couple of matches together they start understanding each other's flow and mechanisms a little bit better as a team, as a unit, not as individuals. I think Delhi will be a much better side. As for the fielding, well, it happens. What can you say? If they were costly misses, they shouldn't happen, but it happens. I'm not going to beat around it too much, but yes, a perfect day. It meant a perfect day for Bangalore. But like I said, Delhi recovered from 30 for 4 to post a 140 run total. A team which is not 30 for 4 will probably end up posting 100, 160, 180. And if they don't drop those catches, Royal Challengers Bangalore will not have a perfect day. So they need to watch out. They really need to watch out with the bowling attack.
Yeah, no, fair point. To get to where they did from where they were was indeed a fair effort. On Yuvraj Singh, I mean, I think he ended on 52 in 29 balls. You look at that on paper, think, well, that must have been a great knock. But he looked in all sorts of trouble against the fast bowlers. Were you a little bit surprised by Dinesh Karthik not keeping the fast bowlers on against Yuvraj when he was, fairly fresh in his innings?
Uh, it's a dicey question, John. I mean, it could have gone either way. He could have brought on the fast bowlers. Yes, he was struggling a bit. You can see his reflexes perhaps having slowed down a little bit because this is not the first time he's busy in the last 2 months that he's struggling against fast bowlers. He struggled all the way in Bangladesh. Um, Maybe it's because of the reflexes bit, with age catching up just a little bit. I'm not sure about that. Uh, but like I said, it's a bit of a dicey situation. He could have stayed there at the wicket. All he wanted to do was perhaps stay at the wicket, which he managed to do in the end. And in T20 cricket, I don't know. I mean, I'm not sure if you can really get your eye in after playing 10 balls. Obviously, it's a different ball game altogether. But like I said, it's a bit of a dicey call there. Either way, Yuvraj wanted to stay at the wicket, and he did. However, people have been talking about Yuvraj returning to form and everything. I would give it a couple of matches. Like people wanted to defend him after the World Cup final, that all is not lost. It was a bad day. I agree, it was a bad day. Yes, a torrid day, not even a bad day, a torrid day for him. But I think we should give him a couple more matches to see whether he really is back in a touch, or in a touch of good form, in fact, or was that just a one-odd game again for him?
Yeah, but I agree with you there, Chess, and that one innings doesn't automatically put you back in form. And yeah, he wasn't at his absolute free-flowing best, but there were some pretty good shots. But he wasn't. I think he sort of bunted it down the ground like he does. On to yesterday's double-header then, Chennai Super Kings against the Kings XI Punjab. We've touched on it a little bit already, and you mentioned that it's not often that Chennai post 180, 190, 200 and lose. I think it's 10 times that Chennai have posted 200. They've lost twice. Both of those times against the Kings XI Punjab. The other time a couple of seasons ago when Paul Tati scored 100. So apart from the Kings XI Punjab, there isn't a team out there that's got a clue about how to chase down 200 against Chennai. But I remember in a certain preview that I've done here, we've sort of said if Kings XI can get Glenn Maxwell, David Miller, George Bailey into a team with Mitchell Johnson and get that balance right, it could be their season, and it really did come off for them yesterday. With all of those players, well, Mitchell Johnson not so much because he was smacked about the park, but certainly the batting, those three really came together in the middle order and saw them home.
Yeah, Mitchell Johnson's not been playing for quite a bit. I mean, it's the same with him as well. He's coming off an injury, so probably will take a couple of matches. We don't know how match fit he is, so it'll probably take a couple of matches for him to get going. Not sure that he's going to be hit over the park all around. I mean, and it was a day game. Perhaps under the lights it'll be a little bit tougher, as you saw with Morning Walker. It'll be a little bit tougher with Mitchell Johnson given his pace and the bounce he can generate. Having said that, I mean, people have been very, very excited about Kings XI Punjab's team this year, the selections that they've made, especially with Maxwell and Bailey. Mumbai Indians let go of both Maxwell and Mitchell Johnson. And when I say let go, they did not use their, they had one right to match after 5 retainers. So, yeah, they didn't even use either one of them. So it could just, I mean, Mitchell Johnson in the first match, yes, didn't really set the ground on fire. But I said, I mean, it's a long tournament and there's a lot more to come from him. But Glenn Maxwell, people talk about the fact that he's hitting them and maybe he's just slogging. But if you look at that carefully, I mean, we saw in Bangladesh as well in that innings against Pakistan, they were proper cricketing shots, all of them. I mean, he's slogging, but he's slogging with a proper technique. I mean, it's absolutely brilliant to watch, entertaining to watch. There's a method to his madness, in fact, and one just wishes that he continues in this vein because it's, like I said, it's maddeningly entertaining to watch.
Yeah, so just looking at our poll, Chet, I'm sorry you've caught me on the hop a little bit there. And before the tournament got underway, our poll we've been running across the website and social media had Kings XI Punjab as the favourite, if you like. But RCB have now jumped quite a long way ahead. But Kings XI Punjab, they're still there. They're still up there in sort of second place. So people still getting behind the Kings XI Punjab. And I think that maybe some more people get behind them after yesterday's performance.
Absolutely, I think they just need a couple more matches to get into their groove. I mean, their I like their opening combination with the experience of Virendra Sehwag and the exuberance of Cheteshwar Pujara. I really wanted Cheteshwar Pujara to open, because he is somebody who's been knocking on the doors of the Indian ODI 11 for quite a while, but he's not been able to get in. What he needs to do is, just show what he's made of, get a couple of good knocks under him, and probably there'll be a different view of his abilities in the ODI arena as time goes on, because I think India has a couple of spots open in the middle order and perhaps in the top order where Rohit Sharma's not been doing that well overseas, especially in the last two overseas, considering that the World Cup will be in overseas conditions. So I think Pujara has an opportunity there. But like I said, Kings XI Punjab, people have been backing them since the day the auctions took place. They were excited about this mix of players that they've got, and especially in the first game, chasing that huge total. I think Kings XI have shown just why.
And then we had a very different game in the evening, and we've seen that under lights the ball does a bit much. It's not quite as easy for the batsmen, particularly at the start, to sort of come out firing. Rajasthan Royals and the Sunrisers Hyderabad. I mean, I went for the Sunrisers to win this one, and they just didn't get enough runs on the board, as they did on quite a few occasions last year. But again, on this occasion, even with Dale Steyn, Bhuvaneshwar Kumar bowling some fantastic deliveries, they just couldn't keep the Rajasthan Royals down. And what are your sort of thoughts on this game? It wasn't a game as exciting maybe as the early one, but Rajasthan Royals will be absolutely delighted, because not many people have really fancied them this year to get off the mark and win in a low-scoring game, because they can often be quite tense and quite nervy affairs.
Well, I agree. I mean, obviously they were really short by a few runs. I think their top order didn't really work out that well for them in yesterday's game, which is a bit of a sad factor really, because Aaron Finch, Shikhar Dhawan, David Warner, and the top three, that is a really exciting combination. Having said that, I think while the IPL is in the UAE, in this particular leg, I think this will be a major factor that perhaps the games in the afternoon might be just a bit more closer, might be just a bit more high-scoring games, and perhaps towards the end, then maybe we'll see games which are on the low-scoring side, and perhaps low-scoring games can also be very close at times, because they are a bit dicey. You lose a few wickets at the top, and then the middle order just loses its way sometimes. But we haven't seen that in the last couple of games. What I want to say is, I mean, yesterday Rajasthan just sealed it in the final over, something Mumbai Indians could not do, because they, like I said, they lost a few wickets, and then the middle order could not keep it going. So we've seen two different matches under lights, but they're also similar in the manner that they're low scoring. So, like I said earlier on, I think this could be a phenomenon in this particular IPL, that the day games are a bit more high scoring and open-ended, perhaps, and towards the end of the day, when the pitches are a little bit more slower, then maybe we could have low-scoring games. In a low-scoring game, somebody like you would want to back somebody like a Sunrisers Hyderabad with the kind of bowling attack they have. Amit Mishra, these slow pitches will be really suitable for him. I think he bowled well yesterday as well. Steyn, Ishant, Bhuvaneshwar. I think Bhuvaneshwar is a fine addition to their bowling attack. It's a sad bit because Irfan Pathan misses out. I mean, Irfan Pathan is a handy customer in T20 arena at least, and he's still sitting out. So you can just, it goes to show the quality and the depth of squad that Sunrisers have. I'm not sure if they're gonna have those close finishes as last year, because last year they were just pushing. I think this year they have made a step up with their squad in that particular sense. So yeah, I think maybe a couple more matches and they will hit their grooves as well.
Yeah, I think the problem for the Sunrisers batsmen yesterday, I think Shikhar Dhawan, David Warner, a couple of others, they got themselves in, got to sort of 20, 30, and then got out, whereas with the Rajasthan Royals, only two players got to double figures, but Rahane went on to score 59, really well-measured innings, I thought, then Stuart Binney at the end, 48 not out. That really that 20 runs was very much the difference.
Absolutely, it's all about staying at the wicket. I mean, I think we've seen in all the matches so far that staying at the wicket, especially on these wickets which have a little bit slower pace in terms of the bowling, when the ball is not really coming onto the bat. The longer the batsmen stay at the wicket, the longer they're able to score, and especially if it's the openers, then they can just really shepherd the team together. We've seen that happen in all the matches so far. Um, Ajinkya Rahane, I think uh, the fact that Shane Warne and Rahul Dravid are not there, and Shane Watson is the captain, who is somebody who needs to perform by example. I think that'll really help somebody like Ajinkya Rahane, because he is somebody who's had a good season. He's coming off a good season, but he needs to take that confidence into the limited overs format, and from there he really needs to channel it towards the international arena. And he now acquires a senior role in the Rajasthan Royals plan. And you could see, he wanted to stay at the wicket, he wanted to finish the game, or at least take the game towards the finish line. I think we're going to see some really more good knocks from Ajinkya Rahane as the tournament progresses.
Look forward to that. So we've got another double header today, Chetan. Royal Challengers Bangalore underway at the moment against the Mumbai Indians. So I don't know if you want to make a prediction for that one, given that the majority of viewers will be seeing this probably after that game's finished. But certainly the evening games could be a tasty affair. Kolkata Knight Riders against the Delhi Daredevils. Kolkata obviously looking to continue their good run I should say, the good form from the first win, and then the Delhi Daredevils desperate to get back on the field, I would imagine, and atone for their performance against Bangalore. Would you want to make a prediction there, Chetan?
Well, Mumbai have made a decent start. I think they're 40 odd for one. If I can look, I'm looking again and again at the television screen, but I would go with I'll go with the Royal Challengers Bangalore in this one as well, because they're chasing, which is their strong suit. And we're not sure what sort of a batting order the Mumbai Indians are going to come up with. I mean, if it comes down to Corey Anderson or Kieran Pollard who come up next and they just blast away and set a 200-run target, then our predictions could fail. But we don't know. I mean, Mumbai Indians batting order is a bit unpredictable. So going with Royal Challengers Bangalore, they are the chase specialists. Virat Kohli, the chase specialist. So I think he could have a say or two in the outcome of this match. As for the latter match, again going with the Kolkata Knight Riders, because as we have seen matches in the evening, a little bit more slower, Morkel factor against the Delhi Daredevils, inexperienced batsmen, or just JP Dumini, who's been a bit of a good touch. Ross Taylor has been a bit of a good touch, but a couple others not so much. So that particular bowling attack against Delhi's at the moment fragile batting, it doesn't really bode well. 2 losses out of 2 for Delhi if they lose today. But I think if they can just gel together, just try to compete together, they could just be the start of something for them. But today's match, my prediction would be Kolkata Knight Riders to carry on with their winning touch.
And rather boringly, I've gone for exactly the same. Chetan, I tweeted earlier on that backing Bangalore and Kolkata today to really momentum. They won the first game, they look good. I think they'll go on and win again today. So that's we'll see how we get on. I'm on 50% so far. I got the first 2 right and got both wrong yesterday. So we'll see if I can improve on that as the tournament goes on. So well, that's it for this IPL hotspot. Chetan, thank you very much for your time as ever. We'll catch up no doubt next week.
Absolutely, always a pleasure.
And thank you very much for watching, and do join us again soon here on Cricket World TV.